Hello everyone! Yes, it is true we are not in the land down under. In Australia, it would make sense to own these two beasts, the Nissan Navara and the Land Rover Defender. But we are here in Europe. That does not mean that these two beasts have no purpose at all, guys. They both have just as much purpose as in the land down under, except off-roading. What purpose do they both have? Utility purposes, of course, which is why they're considered as utility vehicles, guys. Now, here in Belgium, I see a good number of companies that still use the Nissan Navara and the Land Rover Defender, namely construction companies, renovation companies, and emergency services. But it should also be noted that these two are one of the top choices for United Nations, Red Cross, although it is true they go nowhere close to our good friend, the Toyota Land Cruiser. Now, both of them come from opposite sides of this world. This comes from Japan. This comes from United Kingdom, guys, England. Now, there's something really interesting you guys need to know. Both of them had a really interesting history. The Land Rover Defender was always a true off-roader, alright? Something which had a good relationship with the military, although it seems like militaries around the world did not always like the Defender for some reason. It seems like they always favored the Land Cruiser over the Defender, or they favored some other choices. These were also very true off-roaders, but then the thing is, the Japanese always had more... They always had a better value for money sense to them, if you know what I'm saying, guys. They were always better value for money, well-equipped, and most of all, far more reliable. Now, I'm on an investigation to find out what makes the Land Rover Defender really special, guys. We're going to test drive the Land Rover Defender, guys. I've driven my Nissan Navara enough to tell you guys what it's like to drive, and just like other Japanese 4x4s, very road-friendly, very easy to get in. Over here's the Land Rover Defender. It's a true off-roader, but do not... when I say true off-roader, I kid you not. Make no mistakes, there's no step, guys. So you have to make sure you have some agility when getting inside this Land Rover Defender. Yes, this is the interior of the Land Rover Defender, guys. Now we're gonna climb in a moment and we're gonna fire it up. I don't know if it's questionable, but there was no handle or anything to hold on to when climbing inside the Defender. Now I don't know if these were standards of the 2011 or if Land Rover was just trying to maintain some classic standards here, guys, to make it off-roadish, but usually most 4x4s would have a handle here or something. Alright guys, I have to make a confession to you all. This is my first time ever driving a Land Rover Defender. One thing that should be noted, guys, is that the interior of the Land Rover Defender and the Mercedes G-Wagon, the European competitors, they always have everything at your face. Whereas the Japanese competitors, they always had a more road-friendly approach, so everything would be kilometers away from the driver, like it would be more spacious inside. In this Defender, everything is close to you, everything is a bit cramped, which on an advantageous point of view, it's very handy. It's like an army vehicle. But on a questionable side, it was not always the smartest tool in the shed when it came to safety, guys. But who cares about safety when there's style here? Anyways, let's fire it up. Now, when firing it up, there's a unique system. You have to turn it clockwise, whereas in other cars, I had to always... You have to turn it clockwise, but on the other side, guys. So, yes. Let's get going, guys. When driving this Land Rover Defender, one thing that should be noted is that the brakes are very... you have to plan everything in advance, okay? Plan everything in advance when doing brakes with this Land Rover Defender. I'm going to show you guys in a moment, but first of all, it's very heavy to drive. The steering wheel is not very light. But be careful because the grips of this Land Rover Defender is very big that it always touches the chassis of the Defender. So that's what happens. You have Defender. So you see that Tesla in front? I'm already stopping here. And there we go. The Defender is not anywhere close to the Tesla anymore because I stopped in advance. I planned everything in advance, guys. That's the key with the Defender. Right, guys, now it's time to talk about acceleration. So accelerating this big heavy beast is not an easy task, but let's do this. 3, 2, 1. It's a loud task. Oh, it's not that easy. Now let's do the brakes, guys. 1, 2, 3. The brakes are not bad actually. Now the brakes is something you have to get used to. If you want to do an emergency brake, it cannot guarantee you an emergency brake, but you could try something if you plan in advance. So just a rule of thumb, when driving this Defender, if ever you drive in a narrow place or on a road where there's too many people or something, slow down. The Land Rover Defender sure is still one of the most promising 4x4s of today, and it still has its purpose. There's still a reason why many organizations and many people still prefer them as their #1 choice for off-roading. But there is also a reason why they vanished from the EU market. It was just too heavy and just not road friendly enough. Japanese 4x4s take the task just to a new level, if you know what I'm saying. The only reason these bad boys are around is because they still have character. I have another great news. This bad boy is for sale. Yes, that's right, you heard me. It's for sale here in Belgium. It's awesome. You guys should take a look at this opportunity because it's not very often you see a Land Rover Defender. So if you are interested, you should totally reach out and take a look at this Land Rover Defender. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos that are on the run, everyone. I'll see you all next time.